Hello everybody, this is a special report. My name is TruePowerIsMine, and today's show has been sponsored by APM Construction. For all your construction needs, please give those folks a call at area code 314-300-9455. And also, if you'd like to donate to the other morning show or to Special Report, please send your donations to P.O. Box 133, DeSoto, Missouri 63020. All right. So, what's going on today, folks? Well, Miss Roseanne Barr showed her true colors. Here's a little excerpt from ABC.
Off with breaking news, ABC has canceled the show Roseanne after the comedian made a racist remark on Twitter.
The tweet was in reference to a former advisor to President Barack Obama. CBS 2's Sandra Mitchell is live in the newsroom with details. Sandy.
Yeah, this is a real controversy involving Roseanne and this racist tweet. She's apologized, but there has been immediate reaction. As you said, ABC just released a statement on Twitter canceling the show. The entertainment president said Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values, and we have decided to cancel her show.
Stop.
Now, this morning, here's the tweet.
Inconsistent with their values? We're talking about Disney, right? We're talking about the same people back in the 60s and 50s. If you was a little raisin, you ain't going to be in the Mickey Mouse Club. So, really, if you ask me, Roseanne Barr's comments are hand in hand with the culture of Disney. Let's be real here. And also, for those who like Roseanne Barr, I'll pray for you. I never did like her stand-up, never did like her first show. I can't really stand the chick. She's like a trigger to me. When I see her face, I just and not being me, I would have said this if her show was a big hit or not. And let's be honest, who the hell was really watching her whack-ass show anyways? It was weak, it was pathetic, and let's continue.
Comedian wrote, Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ. She's talking about former Obama White House advisor Valerie Jarrett. Jarrett is African American. Barr tweeted an apology for making a bad joke about her politics and her looks. Earlier, she also tweeted attacks on Chelsea Clinton, filmmaker Michael Moore, and billionaire investor George Soros. We're hearing from the co-star and the Talk co-host Sarah Gilbert. Gilbert wrote today, Roseanne's recent comments about Valerie Jarrett and so much more are abhorrent and do not reflect the beliefs of our cast and crew or anyone associated with our show. I am disappointed in her actions, to say the least.
Look, I'm not disappointed.
Roseanne Barr, her unexpected comeback suddenly cut short.
No, her comeback was not cut short. It can't be a comeback if no one's there to greet you. Like I said, her show was shit. Nobody was watching it. So they're just really, if you ask me, I think this is a way for her to get out of that contract and kill this train wreck of a show while kind of saving face, I guess. I don't know if you want to call this what she's going through, saving face. But it is what it is. Listen, folks, we got to understand here. Whenever you have these TV shows or these series, you got to understand there's a political situation behind it. Okay. Here, Roseanne, I never saw her show, but I heard that her show was like, she's supposed to be some sort of pro-Trumper, and blah, blah, blah. Right. And, the way she's displaying herself on this Twitter, she might as well really be a Trump supporter. That's something that Trump would say. You look like something from Planet 8, and it's terrific. Please. It's not terrific. For this chick to sit here and you understand the meaning behind Planet of Apes, right? That was made during the 60s and whatnot, and you had a lot of revolutionary activity. So the fear was not that apes were to take over the planet, but black folks were to take over the planet, and we got to understand this. Listen, folks, there's only one thing here that matters when it comes to TV series. It's money. Money, money, money. And I'm telling you, this show of hers was not bringing in the bucks. Good and damn well if it was, they would not kick her to the fucking wayside. All right. Now,
Off with breaking news. ABC has canceled.
There's another story that's out and about, and that is the story. And I want to show it more. There's a gentleman named Dane Calloway. Dane Calloway, please. Let me pull him up real quick. All right. Dane's information, and I only found out about Dane Calloway through a viewer. She sent me a message saying, hey, reach out to this brother. But before I reach out to anybody, I always go and check out what they're about. And I definitely want to interview Dane Calloway. You know, even though I don't think he really does interviews like that because he's too much into the research and actually bringing true expository information to the people. But Dane Calloway, he should be the teacher that everybody listens to, because the brother has some super terrific information. He has some really, really good information. And hold on, where was that video? There was a video. Okay, I mean, a lot of his videos are really lengthy, but I did see you know what? I'm just going to grab a video by random. You guys see me? I'm just gonna a random video here. This one. That one. We'll just do that one. And let's see how it goes.
The late 1630s, the people of color in America have been struggling with the actual count of their true identities. After being labeled a race of people under certain classifications based upon skin hue, the complexity of learning their background, heritage, and culture was relied upon the Western European settlers that took place immediately in the year 1492 and beyond. The inability of governments of America and Europe to come to grips with their dark past and allow the Aborigines, who are natives to the land of America, as well as the descendants of everyone else involved, the healing required to move forward is not only a denial of basic human rights, but a telltale sign of the type of current racism, economic neglect, and mistreatment that will surely come to light during this generation of life. The threads of these ancient cultures of the Aborigine people, having existed here for tens of thousands of years prior to the arrival of the Europeans,
Stop! What did the man just say? The Aboriginal people were here for thousands of years prior to any Columbus or Viking, Lee Farrison, Eric Farrison, whatever, or anybody else. You know, years ago, I was doing some research, right? And I happened to come across Black Hebrew Israelites. And one of the videos that was talking in depth about the Israelites after the fall of Jerusalem, when Rome sacked them, they ran south into Africa and kept on going to try to escape the Romans and the legions, okay? Well, when they got down there, they still kept their Jewish traditions, or Hebrew, not Jewish, but Hebrew traditions, and Israelite holy days and whatnot. So they were actually not physically, but culturally different from the folks that was there on the land. All right. So then when the European shows up, you know, the Africans and Nubians basically rounded up the Israelites and threw them on the boats and came over. Now, when I heard that, it made sense because I wasn't digging, you know, it's like I knew somehow, some way I was tied to this land here. I wasn't tied nowhere else, all right? Now, go to what Dane Calloway's talking about. He's saying that you never did. You was never over there in the old world. You've always been over here in the new world. You've always been an American. Well, that's not what they called it back then, but you was always a part of this land. And I'm talking to you, all right? Let's continue.
Preserved, strengthened, and woven back into a quilt that tells the unique story of not only their past, but of their bright future as well. The reasons for this runs much deeper than one may assume. One reason being, we have thousands of ancient history records, artifacts, tombstones, and hieroglyphics, etc., all in Africa. But to really put the full puzzle together, one must learn the facts of the actual counts of the Aborigines of America, because they are the direct ancestors of the now called African Americans. In today's America, we are witnessing the now called Native Americans battle against the federal government over the Dakota pipeline. They are protesting because of the government's approval of this pipeline forces the removal of hundreds of their ancestors' respectful and sacred cemeteries from the land. But actions like this are not uncommon by the federal government. In fact, the immigration of native Indians of this land started in 1492, and one untold example of that took place in the year of 1838. At that time, the federal government began forced removal of any Cherokee Indian and or Creek Indian families who had neither applied for state citizenship nor moved to their newly established Indian territory in the state of Oklahoma on their own. Crude stockades were constructed to temporarily contain captured Creek and Cherokee families until they could be quickly relocated outside of the state of Georgia. One of those stockades was on the Etowah River near Canton in Cherokee County, Georgia. Nearly all Cherokee family cemeteries have been removed by late 1839, except for a couple, due to the fact that there were very few Cherokee.
So we do have archaeological evidence to support what Mr. Calloway's talking about. The real thing is, do you really want to accept that? Do you really want to accept your true birthright? Because I was talking to Brother Ron tonight prior to the show. And, we had a great conversation. Oh, I don't know if this is on this video or not, because I've started this video several times. But this Friday, we'll have on the other morning show, we got a great show for you on June 1st. We have Brother Raphael on. We'll be talking about a couple of things. And I'll be in studio, but Dimebag will not be in studio on this one. But we're still talking to them. We're going to have some great stuff on that. But I'm pleased to announce June 8th, Brother Ron will be on the other morning show. 5 p.m. Central Time. That's when we start. And hopefully we won't have no technical problems like I've been having on this show tonight. But the thing about it is, back to what I was talking about with what Brother Dan Calloway's saying. The moment you start referring yourself as an African American, then psychologically and more importantly, legally, you disavow your natural claim to this land. Like, if you had it in your mind that you're an indigenous American, that this land was with your people prior to colonization and slavery and all that, that is the greatest fear. When someone says, go back to Africa, why am I going to go to another continent when my roots are here on this continent? No, you go back to wherever the fuck you come from. How about that? Okay? So, what I'm trying to illustrate here is that information is power. It's power on so many different levels. Before I heard Brother Calloway and watched many of his videos, I knew that the history that we have been given was straight up wrong. I know this. Just like I know that the history books lying about the people of ancient Americas came through on some land bridge from Siberia into Alaska following a deer, Oh, geez. I mean, the bottom line is, what would deer eat on a glacier? There's no vegetation, so what the fuck are they eating? And, if you ever hunted an animal or observed their tendencies, animals are in tune with the environment in ways that we are not. So this animal would not run into a refrigerator. They have common sense. No, they would turn south and head into the Asia plateau, the flats where Genghis Khan lived, and they'll go down to the mountain regions of Tibet and all that. They wouldn't go farther north, all right, unless they were specifically designed say like a polar bear or Arctic fox or whatnot. But those are all carnivores. They're feeding on fish or whatever, scavenging. Whereas a deer or game that ancient humans would probably be hunting were herbivores, meaning that they had to eat plant material. And we all know plants don't grow in a frozen situation. All right. So what I want to talk about tonight, is a couple of things. All right. There's a notion in this country, for whatever reason, that, basically racism's dead and gone. It's an old deal. Its time has come and gone. But that's not the case. We're still having people gunned down in the streets based on nothing more than a phone call. I see someone suspicious. I see them. And they get shot up. I was talking to Brother Dimebag, and he suggested something that was pretty funny. What if black folks started calling, using their phone as a weapon? Oh, I see somebody doing a meth deal. Oh, I think I see a heroin junkie over here, and just straight lying. How will that affect things? How will that be perceived? Because in our community, a lot of times things will pop off, and we do not want to get the cops involved for obvious reasons. Whether we have a warrant or where we fear for our lives. Some of us just don't want to have that stress. I've known many men and women. We're driving down the road. There's a cop, and they're just looking straight forward. They don't look, not straight forward. Like, if I don't see him, he won't fuck with me. All right? We got to understand, that's not the way to be, because he does see you, and he will fuck with you. All right? So we have to get to a point to where, and this is a two-tier thing, to where we get the political representation that we need, and we have the economic foundation to facilitate the political changes that we need. Because without the one, you will not get the other. And without the other, you surely will not get the other. All right? In order for us to be what we need to be, then we're just going to have to come together in a political fashion, maybe start a new group or new political party or whatever. But I think that would be not in our best interest to start with the political thing first. Seriously. I think we need to start first with the economic thing. Once we get people with money in their pockets, we get people not tripping on their the rent or the mortgage or the rest of the bills, then they can focus on these political issues. See, the reason why you don't see a lot of people out here protesting, and let's just be for real, because people have to eat. All right? People have to pay bills. Yeah, this injustice is going on, and we all know this. But in the meantime, back at the ranch, you got people you got to take care of. And if you don't take care of these people, then you are failing your duty as a parent, a husband, a wife, or whatever it may be. All right? So that's why you're not really seeing people out there in the streets, because it doesn't pay to protest nowadays. And I mean, come on, guys, be honest. How many times you've been by a protest, you see 4 or 5 people out there with signs, and you almost chuckle to yourself like, why are they even wasting their time? I haven't seen any protest with real people. All right, a massive amount, except for the protests, and I call them protests in Ferguson. They weren't riots; they were protests, and it was only a few city blocks at that. All right, so a lot of this that we're basically being attacked by is propaganda. It's basically racism, and it's also they fear the truth. They fear you knowing your truth. All right, so I'm going to cut this short. This has been a special report. Think about what I said. Hope you all join me this Friday at, I believe, 4 p.m. with Brother Raphael. Thank you. Bye.